Hi guys, it's Julie. Welcome back to my wonderful BC life. I'm back today with my weekly weight loss journey update. How did I do this week? Well, I can honestly say that on the weekend I felt really guilty. I think part of it stems from when Dave is home. We tend to have breakfast. So I automatically feel guilt about that because normally I only eat supper each day and that's it. Well, that makes it bad enough, and then there was some cheating involved and I felt really bad about all of that too. So I didn't have a lot of good faith that I was going to have good numbers this week. Plus I had those 2 really good weeks in a row. I was just short of 7 pounds in 2 weeks. So I mean, that's a lot all at once, and it usually seems to follow a pattern where if I have some good weeks, then all of a sudden it will taper off and I won't have as big of numbers for a week or two. So basically, that was what happened this week. I did get my walks in every day, except for there was one day I only got 15,000 steps and I was wearing sandals. I should not be walking that much with just sandals on my feet. But that was what I did that day. And probably, it didn't bother my feet, but I just worry that I'm not giving them the support that they need. So I probably won't make it a habit of doing that going forward. But anyway, here's what happened this week. I stepped on the scale and I was worried about it. I thought, oh no, it's, maybe it'll still be up because I had those 2 bad days on the weekend. But I was still down, and I'm happy about that. I was down 0.8 of a pound, so almost a full pound. I've had those 0.8s before, haven't I? I seem to remember at least one other week where I had that exact same number. So anyway, now I am officially down 41.4 pounds in, I believe this is week 17 now, 17 weeks, I'm pretty sure. So overall, I'm not displeased with that. As long as it's still going down, that's what I want. It doesn't have to be all at once. Your body is going through a state of adjustment. And because it's going through a state of adjustment, it takes time for it to do it. So, like I say, I'm not displeased at all. It's still down. It's still, going in the right direction. And that's what I want. So I'm pretty happy about that. And I was going to say, I don't know if any of you ever watched The Biggest Loser. Dave and I used to watch that all the time. And it was so amazing. For those of you who haven't watched it, they take very overweight people and they take them to this weight loss camp where they force them to do extreme workouts, like to the point of being athletes. It gets to that point where they are like athletes. They're doing all sorts of things that are way harder than you would think they would ever make them do. And they're also put on very strict diets, extremely strict diets. And then at their end of their week, they would have to all step on the scale to see how they had done. And sometimes they would have lost a lot of weight. And then sometimes you'll get somebody, they step on the scale and they didn't lose anything at all, or their weight went up and you're like, how is that even possible? I can't even comprehend how they could do that when they are being worked so hard and on these strict diets too. And yet they still would do it. So, there were weeks when they were like, oh no, I can just imagine how defeated you would feel at a moment like that. But it just goes to show you that that's the way things can work out. And, regarding Dave, by the way, his weight's dropping too. He was bummed out there that one week. His weight jumped up and he's like, what the, he's like, I was good all week. He couldn't understand why it actually went up, and it didn't make sense at all that it did. Well, it's been coming back down now. It dropped the number that it went up by. It dropped that, and it's dropped it at least a couple of pounds more. He hasn't done his weigh-in for this week yet he chooses to do his on Saturdays. So I don't know how he's going to fare for this week, but as of last week, I know he was down a couple of pounds on his weigh-in day. So that was good. So anyway, I'll just give a quick update on our big move plans. We've gotten everything dealt with the lawyer. We've got the movers lined up, dealt with the bank and all that. We've been getting all of the pieces of the puzzle together, even though in my mind, it's just like the pieces of the puzzle are still flying all over the floor. There's so many aspects to moving, as I'm sure any of you know. But we take possession of our new little townhome on Tuesday, and I am getting so excited. That is, to me, when it's really going to start being fun, is when I can start moving things in. Moving day itself isn't until the 27th of August, so we've got a lot of time there to do a gradual move. Dave likes it that way. It just makes it easier than doing it all at once. So I am getting excited about that I can start going in as of Tuesday and start moving things. I haven't packed a lot yet because I know I've got a lot of time, but I have been doing some packing. I've got a lot of clothing that I've already packed up and put into my suitcases. They're all full. And as soon as I get the key, then we can go and I can take those items over there and make sure the place is, you're not going to worry about cleaning the floors right off of the bat because you're going to have movers going in and out and everything. But I want to make sure things like shelves and stuff like that are clean before I start putting things on there. Hopefully they will have already cleaned them, but you never know. Sometimes people don't. So I know I always, if I'm moving out of some place, I make sure the place is spick and span before I'm gone. I clean everything and make sure it's clean for whoever's moving in. But once I get in there, I'll make sure I take my cleaning supplies, and then I can start hanging up all my clothing, other than the items that I've left here, which I'm going to leave a certain number of things here because we're actually expecting quite cool weather coming up this week. I'm not looking forward to that. I just saw today they were calling for starting tomorrow 19, 18, and I'm like, what? It's summer. I don't want cold weather like that. But anyway, you get what you get. So I had to make sure I kept some clothing here, regardless of what the temperatures do. I have to be prepared, and that way I'm okay. I won't have to race over to the other house to get a sweater or something. I'll make sure I have some stuff like that here, just in case I need it. But anyway, it's getting exciting. I'm really looking forward to this, and I hope we like it there as much as what we think we're going to. And I'm having to downsize as far as a few things go. I'm trying to find a home for that painting. So far, not one person has called about it. I'm getting kind of depressed about that because it's such a beautiful thing. And honestly, I would keep it myself if there was any way we were going to have room for it. But we're only going to have 8-foot ceilings, and there is not going to be like a stairway or anything like that to put that on. So there just simply won't be a place for it. So anyway, maybe I can find, that's what I was thinking of. Maybe I can find a place here in town that sells used stuff, and maybe they would buy it off of me or take it in on consignment. So because I'm not just throwing it out. That's not happening. I will not do that. Somebody has to take that and give it a nice home. So anyway, I have my bonus footage at the end. I hope everybody sticks around to the end to watch it. I haven't gotten a lot of good stuff. Well, some good stuff, but I haven't gotten a lot of bonus footage like I do some weeks. I haven't been walking in areas where there's nature as much as I sometimes do, but I still always manage to find interesting things to focus on. So I always add those at the end so everybody can see them. So I hope you're all doing well. I hope that you're all healthy and that you're all happy. I would like to thank you for joining me today, and be sure to hit the like button. And if you haven't already subscribed, Be sure to hit the subscribe button and become a member of my YouTube family, and also hit the notification bell and set it to all so you don't miss any of my uploads. Everybody have a happy, well, it's a long weekend here. I forget, is it a long weekend in Ontario? Hopefully it is. I forget now. But anyway, everybody have a fantastic weekend. And until my next video, which I will have a walkthrough from HomeSense coming up, and I also have a haul video that I have to shoot sometime this week. I don't know how I'm going to fit it all in, but I will. So until my next video, bye-bye. Just walking by the golf course in the Noose Bay, and look what we found. The whole family of deer, just beautiful. And then there's another one over here. I'm zoomed in all the way, or else I'd zoom in more, but there's one right there, as you can see. By the bridge. There we just found another one. This one's sort of camouflaged in the trees. But sitting there having a snack. So beautiful. Oh, that's not nice. Mommy, what were you doing? That's your baby. Why did you snap at him? That didn't make sense. She must have got startled when she was napping. We were just walking by this person's nice garden, and look at this. Got a tortoise and a frog and some sort of a turtle or a tortoise. There's a shark, some sort of a tropical fish, a penguin on a toboggan, a duck, another turtle or tortoise or whatever, and another one, and a little frog who's covering his eyes, another turtle or tortoise. This is definitely a sea turtle, and some frogs, and I'm not sure if that's a It's supposed to be an anemone or what that one is. Very cool. Oh no. Just like out of the movie. That was the movie in my life that scared me the most, was the birds. I'm sure these guys aren't going to do anything to us, but it sure reminds you of that. This time I caught an ant carrying a great big stick. Actually, Dave spotted it. What he's going to do with it, I do not know. But he's taking it someplace.
Bonus here, eh, Jerk?
Yeah.
You guys see a seal through the East Coast.
Just